Can't hear you again.
So, hello guys,
Yeah, yeah,
welcome
yeah.
to another. Yeah, I think I'm
Yes,
audible
yes. You're
now.
audible. Yes,
So
you're
I was
audible.
saying hello, welcome guys, welcome to another screen of you know AR. So today we have with us an expert AR creator, Mr. Maulik Tana, who will be taking the session forward and will be teaching us how to create a very unique filter of random selector, which you can use on Facebook or Instagram or any other social platform. So without any further delay, let's hand over this session, to the sir, and then we can proceed with the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Varun, for the kind introduction. So, good afternoon, guys. So, today we'll be talking about specifically about AR, and we'll also be conducting a hands-on session on a particular randomization filter. Firstly, let's talk about AR, just about AR, right? So, I'll just share my screen. Just give me a moment. Share screen.
Sir, I think your screen is not visible.
Yes, one second. Just let me know if you can see my screen.
Sir, the screen is not visible yet.
Yeah, one second. I'm just facing some issues. One second. Just let me know if you can see. Yeah, can you guys confirm if you can see the screen?
Yes, sir, the screen is visible.
Okay. Okay. So let's start with the session. So firstly, let's talk about AR, right? Like there are many terms that you might hear around going around yourself, right? Like let's talk about AR. Let's talk about the metaverse, which people keep on saying. Let's talk about NFTs. Let's talk about blockchain. So these terms are something which a newbie might get scared of, but it's not that complicated as it sounds. So we'll today focus solely on AR. So AR is basically the acronym for augmented reality. Okay. So what do I mean by AR? So basically, the first boom of AR in this particular in the world was given by a game called Pokemon Go. I am sure every one of you might have played that game. It was crazy famous. It was back in 2016, so it was very famous, and people used to play Pokemon Go like crazy. I myself have played, and I'm sure every one of you might have at least tried the game once. So it was basically like a virtual world where you can go and find Pokemons in your surroundings. So that was the first big application of AR which people came to know, and through that they realized the how AR is basically changing the world. After that, several companies took over that particular trend, and today basically we can make AR filters on Instagram as well. So everyone is on social media, right? So we use those filters. Some filters are viral, which reach even to top. people like all of those Bollywood stars and all of that. So that's basically the power of AR. Any brand can use AR to just promote their content, and AR is all about making small changes in your surroundings. Like, for example, putting an image in your surrounding which is not actually there, but you can actually virtually feel it basically. So today, as I mentioned, that we'll be doing this randomization filter. So I'll quickly go through these particular slides. So what's the agenda of this particular session? First, we'll be talking about what is AR in depth. Then why do we need AR? Then next is what exactly is Spark AR. Then I'll be telling you some useful resources, and what exactly are the types of filters which you guys can make. And after that, we'll be carrying out the hands-on session on Spark AR. Uh, just let me know if you can see the slideshow. Yeah. So, as I was mentioning that if you are on Instagram, right, you might have at least once seen this particular filter. This filter is called Guess the Gibberish. Okay, this filter was very much viral in the lockdown, and people were playing it like crazy, and it had a lot of impressions. So I'm sure every one of you might have at least played this game once. I myself have played this game multiple times, and I am very sure if you guys might have not played, but it might have popped up on your Instagram feed. So this, what exactly is this? This is basically a AR filter. This is called an AR filter, augmented reality filter. Okay. So what exactly happens that you create an AR filter and you can share those filters with the world through social media channels. Previously, it was not like that. If you wanted to actually share your filter which you've made, you have to go and do a lot of stuff. But now, since the metaverse has came into existence, making an AR filter is very easy, and literally anybody can make an AR filter without having any experience. It's that easy. Obviously, if you have experience, it's always a plus point, but it's not the only prerequisite. If you don't have, it's absolutely fine. So talking about what is AR. So as I mentioned, in 2016, the game Pokemon Go made it possible for people to interact with their surroundings, right? So that's where a full wave of AR came into picture. So now there's one confusion that's going around. There's also a term called VR, that is virtual reality. So AR and VR are not basically the same. There's a major difference among those two. It might come under the same bracket, but they are extremely different. When talking about AR is basically not fully immersive. For VR, we need headsets, we need a lot of other things. But for AR, we just need our smartphones. Our smartphones are more than capable enough to actually help us experience a particular AR filter. We don't need any headsets, and that's the reason AR is not fully immersive as compared to VR. VR takes you in a different virtual world. That's where the metaverse comes into picture. The metaverse is actually a form of VR and not AR. So that's a basic comparison, like a difference between the two. AR is not fully immersive, whereas VR is completely immersive. It does not need the help of your surroundings to like interact with something. It has its own virtual world. That's what is the basic difference. I hope you guys get it. So examples of AR would be the game Pokemon Go, as I said, and we have those QR codes, right? We have those QR codes for Phone Pay, Bharat Pay, and Paytm, Google Pay. So that QR code is basically an application of AR. Uh, I'll explain it how basically. So the QR code is a barcode which people scan through their phones, right? So that the particular phone is actually scanning and looking for objects in its surrounding. So when it sees a barcode, it will check the barcode and it will take you to the following link or whichever, or a calling button, or whatever is the call to action of that button. So basically, it's something which is there in your surrounding, and you, with the help of your smartphone, are actually trying to access that particular thing, or trying to immerse in that particular QR code. That's how it works basically. So next application was actually the store Ikea. I know you might have heard of Ikea. Ikea actually launched an AR application where you can actually try the products without actually buying them. For example, you want to buy a sofa, So you can go and test that sofa in your particular living room using the AR application. That's how you actually get to know how this product fits your room, whether it will go with the colors, whether you like it or not, and so on and so forth. And the most popular and the creative way of using AR filters is through Instagram and Snapchat filters. Everyone has been using them since like a long time now. Brands are behind these filters. There's a very big reason why brands are investing a lot of money into AR filters and not into like normal content. Firstly, AR filters help you stand out, and that is the reason like a lot of brands are actually putting pouring their money into these filters. Brands like Pepsi, like Coke, like for example Domino's, all of them have at least one filter on their page. You can go and check out their page if you want. Everyone will have at least one particular filter. There's a big reason for that. That is something which we'll be discussing later on in the slides. Coming to the next slide. So why do we need AR? What is the point of all of this? Like, why do we need this? Is there a way where like aren't things normal, like working well without it? It surely is, but there's a reason why we need AR. So there are benefits of AR. First is, as I said, that AR is an immersive experience, and those immersive experience are actually more engaging than a video. So we know that on social media channels, video is the most interactive way. Interactive is the most interactive medium possible, right? But in case of AR, it is actually 5 times more engaging than a video. A video, the main purpose of social media is to actually hold to you on something. Like for example, when you go on Instagram feed, right, you watch a video ad for more than 5 seconds. That's how the chances of you clicking on that ad is more. But in case of AR, it not only keeps you more engaged. In that sense also the marketing aspect also improves. So that's a reason. As I said, in the case of IKEA, customers can actually try their product before buying. That's how it works. And the next benefit of using an AR is basically that firstly it is very easy and very cheap to make. You need a lot of budget to actually make these ARs. It's very simple. Anybody can make it, and it can have a very big impact. The fourth benefit which I see is that everyone uses stories these days, and when you emerge a story with a Instagram filter, it creates one heck of a combination. That's how you can actually gain better views, and you can actually sell your products. The next is, social media works on something called as the memory recall. Like if you see a video and how well are you able to recollect that video. That can happen to some extent with the video, but with an AR it can be tenfold to that particular thing. So in that case, again, it helps in the marketing aspect of things. Lastly, it also gives you a detailed analysis of what is working and what is not. Say you create a filter, you can get to know the exact statistics of who use that filter, how many people are using it, how many people are not, and so on and so forth. These all things make AR a very big uh, change in itself in the marketing industry. Basically, it's not related to just marketing, but it has a very huge impact in marketing as far as social media is concerned. Other aspects of AR would be like the US Army. If you go and read about it, the US Army is actually using AR to create an application through which they can actually sense the enemies. That's a very good application as far as AR is concerned. When you go on the internet, you can search a lot of applications for AR, and the crazy thing is that it's just going to start. The trend of using AR is just starting, and I think it's gonna be a very big industry going down the future. Come to the next slide. So okay, so now you got it. What is AR? How do you know how why it is beneficial to you and all of that. But now a simple layman question: how do you get started? Like everybody asks me this. Like I want to learn AR. How do I start with this and all of that? So there are a lot of channels, a lot of applications available, but the most simple and the most convenient to use is called Spark AR. Okay, So it's basically a platform which is backed by Facebook. It's made by Facebook to actually create immersive experiences on Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook as well. So the name of the application is Spark AR. So basically, as I mentioned you, Spark AR is a studio tool from Facebook that allows users to actually create their own AR effects. So these AR effects are compatible with this particular software is compatible with Mac and Windows, and these effects are only possible on mobile phones. It basically also gives you something called as a Spark AR dashboard. This dashboard, as I mentioned, gives you all the analysis of how a filter is working, how well it is working, how many people are opening, and all the particular statistics you need. That's how it basically works. And you can make a simple filter to a complex filter without any technical knowledge. That's the best part about this. You don't need to learn how to code. Obviously, if you learn how to code, it's a plus point. But if you don't know how to code, it's absolutely fine. You can always go into Spark AR without any coding knowledge, and you can make your own particular Instagram filters. So there are some useful resources which I'm mentioning here. I know this might be very helpful for you, and also you'll get after this session, you'll be able to go and research about them, and you'll it will also help you a lot in your Spark AR journey. It certainly helped me in the beginning of my journey, and I'm sure it will also help you in your journey as well. So first link is the official Spark AR studio download. You click on this link. uh, I'll just show you. If you click on this link, you'll be taken to this particular application which is called a Spark AR. The Spark AR Studio is where you can create your own filters. So you can click on Get Started, and you can download Spark AR from here through this particular website. And here, there's also a thing called Learn Spark AR. So this is an official guide from Facebook itself on how to create your particular uh, Spark AR filters. So they have explained each and every step in this on how to get started. How do you create a simple filter? How do you create a complex one, and all of that. So the only thing required is logic. This particular application only works on logic, and I think everybody has that particular level of logic which they can make their own filters. And the best part about a filter is there is no particular protocol as such, that there is no limit as to sky is the limit. Like, you can make whatever you want to. So like, how much ever you can imagine, that's how it works. Like, the more you can imagine, the more you can make. So there is no cap on how much you can make. It all depends on how imaginative you are, basically. So this is about Learn Spark here. I'll be sharing these links with you, so don't worry. So next is oh, I'm sorry. Next is the community. So like, whenever you're learning stuff, right, you always need a partner so that learning becomes fun. And if learning is no fun, then there's no point. So in this case, there is a official Spark Air community where you can create your own filters, where you can share your progress, where you can share the filters which you've made with people, and possibly get to collab with people. So that is what the Spark AR community is about. People go there, people look for creators, people uh, collaborate with other creators, they make filters, they take part in hackathons, they take part in competitions. All of this is done on Spark AR community. If you join this particular community, you'll get all the updates on when a particular hackathon is, what filters are people making, how they are thinking, how imaginative they can be, and so on and so forth. So next is the Spark AR dashboard. So this particular dashboard, right, this is where you'll be actually okay, the Spark AR dashboard is actually the place where you'll be actually uploading your filter. When you have made your filter, you'll export it as a file, as an AR file, and that file will be uploading on the Spark AR dashboard. For that, the only prerequisite is you need a Facebook account and the Instagram account, or the sorry, you need a Facebook account and the Instagram account on which you want to upload the filter. So like let's say a Facebook account is mandatory, you have to have that, through which you'll be able to log into a dashboard. And the dashboard is something, I'll just show you how the dashboard looks like, so that I think you can have a good idea about this. Yeah. So this is the Spark AR hub. You can see all your particular effects here, with all the impressions and all data which is possible. Captures, shares, opens, all of that. You can see all your particular effects. You can see the insights. There is a tab for competitions as well. You can take part in competitions. You can learn from here. This will take you to Spark AR Learn. It will also help you collaborate with other creators and what exactly they are making. And here you can see the gallery. So this is how basically the Spark AI dashboard works. You can see everyone's effect here, and it's a pretty cool thing to have, like to have this particular community of people who are willing to learn with you. Like you can always learn from anyone, and you can share your inputs with them as well as to what you have learned throughout your journey. Lastly, it's this particular link which I'm sharing with you is something which has helped me a lot. It's a paid course, but this course literally has everything which you need to become a Spark AR developer. So now people look at Spark AR as just a hobby, but when you go beyond that, you can also become a Facebook AR creator developer. So that's how the hierarchy works. So this particular link will help you go through everything. It will teach you the basics right from start to till the end. So it is made by a person called Eddie Adams. He himself is an AR creator, and his AR filters are out of this world. His filters are really beautiful. You can go and check them out. And this is the official site. It is a course which is made by him, and it's really something which I think every beginner should learn from, as it covers all the important aspect which one needs to know basically. So now coming on to the types of filters. What exactly are the types of filters? So there's no, as I said to you, right? There's no cap on what you can think. Like you can make filters on literally anything, as much as you can imagine. But broadly, these filters are classified into like 4 to 5 groups. Like that's how basically the groups are formed. The types of filters are face mask or paint filters. Like if you want to make a makeup filter or a face filter, that's how basically these particular filters come into this category. Next is the quiz filter. As we already discussed in the first slide, guess the gibberish is a quiz filter. Then what we are going to do today, that is the randomization filter, is also a quiz filter. It's a sort of quiz filter. Then next is randomization filter. I already explained this to you. Next is game filters. These filters are a little complex to make, but once you get the hang of it, you'll get to know. Uh, you'll get to learn a lot about these. If you want to go and check out, Pepsi has actually made a AR game on their page, so you can go and check it out. And lastly, there are something called a celebration filter, like something which you make for someone's birthday, or if your favorite sports team, you want to support your favorite sports team, you will make a filter for that. So that's how it basically works. One second. Okay. So we know that today we'll be working on the randomization filter, but as I told you, the randomization filter itself is a very huge thing. So today specifically we'll be working on something called as which country are you from. So how this filter works is that it will give you 5 to 6 it will ask you which country are you from. It will then randomly select any one country, and that's how it will show you the answer. I think you'll get a better idea when we'll actually make the filter. So just For now, if you have any questions, just keep it at rest, because ultimately you're gonna know what exactly we're making. So talking about the filter making process or the procedure, any AR filter has two things. The most important two things. First is the logic, and second is the graphics. For logic, we are using Spark AR. That's, as we have discussed all throughout. Spark AR is known for building the logic of a particular filter. Now you may ask, why do we need logic? Like for example, if you talk about guess the gibberish, right? Uh, if you have ever noticed that there's a timer in between, right, like 1 to 6. After that, it can show the answer. So how does it know that after 6 seconds I have to show the answer? That's the logic. Like after 6 seconds, show the answer. That's how normal programming works as well. Everything in this world, as far as technology is concerned, is built purely on logic. You cannot have technology without logic. It is the basic crux of everything. So the same thing goes for AR. For an AR filter, you need logic. Without that, you cannot work. And logic is something which programmers have, that as a very strong skill. But as we mentioned, that if it's not compulsory to be a coder, but it's always a plus point if you are. Even if you not are, no need to worry. Spark Care is purely built for people who don't know how to code. That was the objective of Facebook when it actually came out with its platform. The second thing which the filters work on, and I think this is by far the most essential thing, is the graphics. How a filter will look. Your graphics can make or break a filter. If your graphics are too good, your filter will become too good, even though it can have the simple logic. But if the graphics are supreme, your filter is gonna stand out. And if you have the greatest of logic, but if your graphics are poor, then your filter will actually turn out to be one. So to build graphics, you need any software like Canva or Photoshop or Illustrator, or any of that graphical application that is used to basically make the logic of make the graphics of a filter. And you can use anyone as per your convenience. There's no like hard and fast rule that you have to use one, but depending on what you are convenient with and how much are you willing to spend, I think you can make the best decision. Okay, so let's just dive into the application now, and let's make a filter. I hope you all are excited, because I think this is gonna be fun. Okay, so let's go to Spark AR. Okay, so here you can see, I'll explain you what exactly is this filter is about, and then we'll together make this filter. So I'll just refresh. Don't worry if you don't understand anything. I'm just showing you how the filter will work. And before that, I'll explain you everything about the particular filter and how this application is looking like. Okay. So this is the first thing, that which country are you from. And once you touch the screen, it will show a couple of options randomly, and it will always select it will select a answer randomly from the options. As you can see, it gave me Switzerland as the answer. If I'll show you once again, which country are you from, I'll tap. It will just randomly go through a couple of options. It will show me India. That's how it basically works. Simple, but it's very interactive and it's very fun to play around with. So let me clear this out. Let me just go through everything. Okay, so when you download Spark Air for the first time, this is how it will look like. So you can choose a couple of templates from here, but today we don't need a template because we're making something which is not available. So you have to go on blank project. Once you go on blank project, you'll get some this kind of interface. This is the person on which you are going to make something. You can always choose your own face as well, but it's all according to your convenience. This is the particular interface we're going to look at. So in this interface, there are three sections which are very important. First is the scene, second are the assets, and third is the properties. You can see this section, right? This is basically the scene of the filter. Like first is the device, then you open the camera, then at some distance you can see the focal. You can after some focal distance you can see the you can also see the microphone and the lights. That's how the basic logic is working. Assets are basically the graphical pictures which you've made, or the graphics which you're making, and you'll import that into the assets panel. Then there's something called as properties. All the materials, the objects which you're going to use will have certain properties. So those properties will be visible over here. That's how it is working. So quick. I have already uh, made my share of the particular graphics just to save time. So I'll first quickly go through here, and you can see there's an import option and then from computer. So I'll firstly import all my particular assets, so it saves time for me. The most important thing for you guys is to understand that when you import an asset, right, always go to automatic and none. So your compression should always be none for every particular device. Doesn't matter you're using an Android, an iPhone, an iOS, anything, but it should always be none. If you allow the images to be compressed, it might turn out to be blurred. So that's something which we don't want. So that's why we have imported textures as of now. Okay. So, oh, I'm really sorry, I just made a mistake. One second. We just had to actually import the cover image as of now, because this is because the rest of the questions are going to come as an option, right? I'll just show you. This is how you can actually delete a particular asset. Right click and delete. That's all you have to do. Okay, so I have just imported my cover image. Now I'll import the options, right? So by logic of the filter, I want the options to come in a random form. So for that reason, I'll import an animation sequence. So what animation sequence is? It's basically a set of images which are used so that I can use them as a video format. So I go on here, I click on animation sequence, and the most important thing for any asset you are importing is that to give it the proper name. So to avoid confusion, I'll say options. I choose my files here. I'll go to new texture, and now I'll select all the countries which I've made. Say Australia, Brazil, India, Switzerland, and USA. So I have 5 countries in total. Out of these 5 countries, you will get to choose. The filter will show you an answer appropriately. So I've clicked on randomize, and FPS I'll put it to 10. So this is something which I've made, and here is the animation sequence. I'll again change the name to options, and I'll just put it on no compression. Okay. So now we'll be coming to the scene panel. So when I click plus, so you can see there are some objects which I can see: speaker, particle system, lights, rectangle canvas, face mesh, plane, hand tracker, plane tracker. The first thing which we'll need is that on top of the face we need a plane. Okay. So like that is the plane will show our particular cover image and the options. So I'll choose a plane first. It's a flat 3D object, so that's what I want. I'll import a plane. I'll give it cover. I'll give it the name as cover. Okay. So now uh, I can. It's not moving as per my face because I don't have the face tracker. So what I'll do is that go. I'll find the face tracker. This basically tracks the movement of the face, and accordingly it will help the plane to adjust. Double click. I'll get the face tracker. I'll put this cover inside the face tracker. Okay. So now you can see this. See, it's moving as per my face. Okay. Now if you want to adjust, so let's say you want to adjust the position of the plane. You click on pause. You can see this, right? It's you can, that is for adjusting the position. You can just go to the top. This is if you want to change the rotation. I want to rotate it a little front. And this is if you want to increase or decrease the size. I want to make it a little flatter. So this is how it will work. So now for any scene or object which I've created, it always needs a material. So you can see a material tab. So now I'll click plus here. I create a material. I'll give this cover. I'll give this a name of cover image. And shader type will be flat. For any 2D object, I'll always have to keep the shader type as flat. From now here, I'll choose the cover image. This all is fine. And now I have made this material. Now I'll give this cover, this particular object, the material of cover image. See, now you can see that the cover images has actually placed on the top of the head. So this is how it will basically you can form the cover image. So now I'll duplicate this one. It's through Control D. You can duplicate, and here I'll put options. So now for this particular in this options, I want the animation sequence, right? So now I'll go and create another material. I'll give this name as options. I'll choose this as flat, and here I'll choose the animation sequence. That is options. Okay. So now for this options, I will choose options as this. So now if you're able to see, if I'll play, if I'll refresh and I'll play, you can see there's a random thing already. But now I want it to stop after some time. Okay. And the first things first, this is always something which I do, not necessarily if you want to do it or not, but I always use a null object when I am dealing with multiple planes or multiple things, right? So basically, at least group these particular things. Okay. So as far as the filter is concerned, we are done. As far as the graphics are concerned. So now I'll be coming to the most important part, that is preparing the logic, and that is something which we'll do on the patch editor. So the patch editor is basically used to make the logic, and the patch editor has something called as patches. So you go to view the top, and you can see show patch editor. You can click on that. Now you have the patch editor. Here you can make patches, and you can actually work on how the filter will look. You can see I have both my particular cover and options in place. Okay. So now what I want the logic is that I want to tap on the screen, and then I want the filter to start, right? So I'll double click, and these all are all the patches, any patch which I want. Through this we can make our particular logic work. Okay. So first I'll type screen tab. You can see screen tab. So now screen tab is something which will always give you a pulse. Okay. And if you want, it's basically like when I tap on screen, I want to send a signal in place of pulse. So what I'll do is that I'll go here, I'll take a switch. Switch is something which will actually turn the pulse into a signal. Okay. So I'll put this to turn on, and from here I will choose a pulse because I want to give it to switch again, and this I'll give it to switch. So this is how it will work. Okay. So basically, what is happening? I'll just explain you. So basically, when you're tapping on the screen, it generates a pulse, and it goes to the turn on switch. A turn on, it basically turns on the switch, and this switch generates a signal. And now again, when I want this particular signal to go to the switch, so that's the reason when you tap. So I'll just show you. So you go here, you click on simulate touch, and when you click, if you can see, there was some movement here. Okay, so that's how basically it is working. I'll show you. If you can see, there was some movement here, right? That basically is that when I interact with the particular screen, it will show me this. Okay, so now after this switch, I want a loop animation to show all these particular questions, right? So loop animation, I'll keep the duration as say 0.02. You can just play around with these numbers as per your convenience. And when I go on options, I'll go to the current frame. Before that, I'll select random because I want these options in random, right? So end range would be always the number of options I have. The number of options I have is five, but this works from 0 to 0. So if I have options from 1 to 5, I'll put it as four. Okay, and I connect this to the frames. Okay, uh, and what I want is that after like a delay of 4 seconds, I want the filter to show the answer. Okay, so from switch, I'll put a delay of say 3 seconds or say 4 seconds, and this will generate a pulse, and this will go to the turn off. This will go to the turn off section. So what is happening here is, right, that when you tap on the screen, it will start a pulse. It will go to the turn on pulse. This will go to the a pulse of turn on, and then it will start a loop animation. After a delay of say 4 seconds, it will take the pulse and it will go to turn off. That's how the logic is working. Now, uh, when I want to start the filter, right, I want to just show the cover and not these options. So in that case, what I'll do is that I'll select both, and you can see visibility, right? You can see visible. This patch is for visible. I can create a visible patch. I'll click on this options, and so what I want after this switch, right? I want to show the options but not the cover. So in this case, I'll select a not. Not basically, I know if you might have studied in school, right? Not gate basically reverses a signal from one to another. Like if it's zero, it gives the output as one, and vice versa. So I select not. I'll select this to not, and this I'll select to cover, and this I'll select directly to options. Okay. So this is how it will work. I'll just refresh. Okay. So now it's the our filter is complete with the logic. You can see now we are able to see the cover, see the only the cover, and we can simulate touch from here. And as soon as I click tap on the screen, oh, I think there was a problem. It just showed me Australia. Oh, 1 second. I think there's some problem. Luckily, I've saved the file, so I don't think it's a problem. Okay, so coming back to this, if you see here, if I'll go to the simulate touch, and if I'll simulate touch, see, it's working. Okay, it showed me Australia. Just to test out if this filter is actually showing options, other options. I'll do it again. This is a random. You can see the same logic was built, right? You use the switch pulse. So that's how basically easy it is to make this filter. Once you get to learn a lot of stuffs, then you can make these filters, and you can make many more complex filters than this using this logic. So that's how basically we are doing this particular filter. So this is about it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this session. I have tried my best to help you out with this random filter. This is a filter which I made at the very start of my journey. So after this filter, I got a lot of knowledge about how the logic is made, and I hope that you guys really had fun and an insightful session. And if you have any questions, I'm open to questions. You can anyways ping me, or you can email me at my email. I hope you'll get that from Varun. And yeah, I think we are pretty much done here. I think Varun, you can take over.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes, yes.
Please give me a minute.
Yeah, sure.
I think I am audible.
Yeah, you are audible.
Yeah, great. So I was personally watching each and everything you were teaching, and the things, they were really very, very nice. They were really very beginner friendly, and for
Yeah.
a person who is at a intermediate level or so, they can also find make sense out of the things.
Hmm.
So I would really, like to thank you for very much for coming out on the weekends and taking out your time for the
No problem. Yeah.
community folks. And hope to collaborate with you in future as well to make some these awesome filters in each and everything. And everyone, thank you very much for being so lovely audience and being patient listeners. I hope it was an insightful session for you all. So thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for providing this platform, and thank you for being a lovely audience. Thank you. Have a good day, guys.